With that, we'll call the May 16, 2016 meeting of Limestone County Commission to order. First item, public comment of Ms. Jeanette Kyle.
Hello.
Hey, good morning.
My name is Jeanette Kyle. I'm here today representing my family, my elderly mother, Josephine Duggar, my brother, Glenn Duggar, and his wife, Sandra, that are present. Glenn and Sandra live and own their home at 19958 Duggar Road. My mother and my sister live at 1998 Duggar Road, which is approximately 235 feet apart. My husband and I own that home that my mother and sister live in, so that's why I am speaking for the family. We have one well that is on our property, but that one well supplies the water to both my mom's home and to my brother and sister-in-law's home next door. In February of this year, one of our family members became ill, and it was determined through medical tests that she had a coli bacteria. We immediately started trying to investigate to find the source of that bacteria, and had the well water tested by Limestone County Health Department. The test came back that the water contained fecal chloroform. So the health department gave us detailed instructions on how to treat a well that has become contaminated with bacteria, and we immediately did so. As a result of this bacteria and the type of treatment you do for a well, we were unable and still are not using that water for anything other than bathing and laundry, that sort of thing, and outdoor watering, so on and so forth. We are purchasing all other water for all other uses. I immediately contacted Athens Water Department and asked to be allowed to put in an application to receive their water. I was told in that first phone call that they would not provide us water. After some discussion.
What was the reason they wouldn't provide you water?
Because they did not have any lines out Duggar Road.
Really?
No.
Is that their zone? Is
That's
that
inside the orange boundary. On the lawsuit they had with the Water Authority, they were specific that they wanted that orange boundary right there. And have you applied with Limestone County Water?
I tried. Limestone County told me they wished they could serve me, but they could not.
If you'll get a letter and put it in formal writing to Limestone County Water asking for service, then the city of Athens has 45 days pursuant to the agreement signed by Judge Baker to either provide you water or Limestone County will.
Mr. Yarborough,
Yes, ma'am.
I respectfully respond to that information to you and to this group. This is the first time anyone in Limestone County with this commission and all these employees that I have talked to, with the city of Athens, the mayor on down, Athens Water, that anyone has given me that information. This is what I have run into constantly, as I've already been given from some people in this audience new information and suggestions and ideas.
Well,
I respectfully answered you with this because you see where our frustration
Well, we'll get it worked out, and I'm sorry. I know Commissioner Hill, we worked to get a grant and tried to work together, but I do know what I'm talking about here, because I was in mediation for 28 hours with the city of
Okay.
Athens a bunch of years ago. They specifically wanted that orange boundary, was adamant about where it be at.
In my diligence on this, I learned of the fact that there had been that lawsuit between Limestone County Water and Athens City Water, and that there's still that friction in there. It was very obvious, but that it had gone before the judge, and the judge had, quote, arbitrarily drawn the lines.
That's not true.
This is what I was told.
Well, they told you wrong. Because I was chairman of Limestone County Water when that happened. It wasn't. Yes, it was done through mediation. We met for 28 hours. City of Athens was adamant about that's where they want. Limestone County, we give up $1.1 million worth of infrastructure. And we were guaranteed and promised, and you ain't got to believe me. Go pull up the order over here, go down here to probate judge's office and pull up the order to Judge Baker. You got 45 days. If they won't serve you, you submit it to Limestone County, a request in writing. And Athens, and it works the same both ways, you know, if Athens,
I'm
Limestone County
getting
can't.
the idea, Mr. Yarborough, that this very moment is the first time you've heard anything about this
Well, I knew we
request.
were working on I know Commissioner Hill's been working exhausted all about getting a grant just to get it done for the city of Athens. We was working jointly, but it didn't qualify for that, and that was only, last week, or about 10 days ago, we found out that it didn't qualify. And I know Commissioner Hill has worked and stayed on engineering, Bryant, we've all worked, exhausted all, but I do know in this situation, that's cut and dried. I mean, there ain't no, he said, she said, it's court order, Judge Baker signed it. But you have to make a formal, and it's not just that. If it's something from outside that orange boundary for City of Athens, if they request it and they can't, City of Athens can provide the service. And I'm not trying to, you know, dismiss anything you say. I don't have a problem. I don't imagine none of y'all, I don't know, ask them have a problem with giving y'all a right of way to put water lines at all. But I don't know what that expense would be, but I do know that that is the court order. And the judge had nothing to do with drawing the boundaries. That was mediated back and forth and determined. That's where they were. He had nothing to do with it. All he did was sign what both parties agreed to.
If the county water was to do the lines, the only cost to the consumer then would be the meter.
Now that
right?
I don't know. I
Oh, yeah,
can't
I don't-
speak on
yeah.
behalf and know that, but I know they'll get you water.
I, in my first contact with Stanley Hill, stressed the urgency of time factor, did I not, Mr. Hill? Because of the fact that my elderly mother is under hospice care, living in that home. My sister and her husband moved in there just to be her caregivers after they sold their home and delayed any permanent arrangements to help care for her. And now my sister has become ill as a result of this. So I stressed the urgency of all this, and this was the 1st of March. And this is what I have dealt with on a daily basis. I would like to stress 2 things. One, no one has asked me any questions. There were some assumptions made. The first one was made on my part because I have never, and my family, to my knowledge, has never requested anything from a public official. There was an assumption made on the part of the people that have been involved in this that our family needed financial assistance. No one ever asked us about our financial status. Never once. I'd like to clear that one up. We don't need, nor do we want, nor has my family ever ever, in any situation, requested financial assistance from our government at any level for any reason. We're hardworking people. We pay our own way. We are not only hardworking people that pay our own way, we're generous people that help those that really do need help. We didn't ask for financial assistance, but we've been treated like second-class citizens in a third world country. The second point I want to make sure is clear, because it was also assumed that we had done something wrong that had caused this contamination of our well. Immediately, as I said, we started checking what was the source. When we learned it was the well, we started checking to make sure that we had not done something that would have caused this contamination, because this bacteria is from either animal waste or human waste. My dad, who is now deceased, hired a certified well driller to drill this well less than 20 years ago. They were on a different type well before then, and we're not stupid. We know, you have to be careful about wells and pure water. So he had a well drilled with every precaution taken. Less than 10 years ago, we built our parents, Glenn, my husband, and myself, and Sandra, and my sister and her husband, and my other brother, we built our parents a new home. We had a new septic tank installed, and it was installed by a licensed plumber, and we didn't go with just the minimum, we went with the best. We made sure it was installed in the proper place, with the proper fill lines, so on and so forth. So we covered everything we knew to cover. My husband and I prayed before we started that project to our Lord with two requests. And I'll take all day if I have to say what I want to say today. I'm sorry. Most of you don't care, I know. And I didn't plan to say all this. But we had two requests from our Lord. One was, we knew my dad was dying, but we asked God to allow him to live in this house after it was finished for at least 1 year. My dad lived 5. The other request was that under those type of circumstances and so on and so forth, that we would never regret building that new home for my parents. Until now, I've never regretted it 1 minute. But I can tell you now, I'm beginning to wonder, do I need to move my mother out? Do I need to make other arrangements for her living, her last days, or maybe days, weeks, or months? I don't know. So I'll pick back up here. I had not planned to say all that. But time is of the essence because of the circumstances of the illness in my family. I don't have time, Mr. Yarbrough, as you can see, to pursue another avenue at this point. My family is desperate. And all we're asking for is a simple request that you grant this right of way.
Well, this is no problem. I don't see a problem in this whatsoever.
That's all I ask.
We can,
I will state one other thing.
we can spend the room to take care of that.
Okay.
It's on the list.
Oh, is it on the list?
for the benefit of any reporters that might be in this room. We think we've learned the source of the contaminated well. We think that it's chicken manure that a farmer has applied to the farm that's right next door to not only our well, but another well that is also tested positive to this bacteria. Now, that's my next battle. If any of you live in the country, and if any of you are on well water, I would recommend you have it tested. I have learned through investigating myself, and by the way, pleading to ADEM for help in the investigation with no help whatsoever, that is very, very serious business when a farmer applies chicken manure to that farmland. Untreated chicken manure not only contains this bacteria, but it contains some very serious chemicals that are known to be causes of cancer.
Who did you speak with at the city?
The mayor, the girl he referred me to, whose name is Holly Holman, and my latest contact, Amy, and Amy
Yeah.
is back here in the blue.
Miss Amy? Well, I can tell you, and I apologize, of course, you know, this commission's not in the water business, but now Commissioner Hill, he don't need me to speak for him, but he did exhaust all revenues when we worked with the city to be able to get the grant, and it didn't qualify. The Limestone County Water Authority, their hands are tied. There's nothing they can do unless you formally require, because it lies within that orange boundary. This is City Athens service area. But this right here, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn, but it's on our agenda, and I
Yeah,
believe we fixing to take care of it.
I've told Ms. Kyle from the first day I spoke to her that we could do this, and I turned it over to engineering, and then they found a way that might be some grant money. We held up a little bit, and as of last week, I found out that probably wasn't gonna happen, so I put it on the agenda for today to give y'all permission to, but
We'll take care of it here in just.
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
One question I would have.
Yes, sir.
Do we need a waiver from Athens City to proceed?
Well, county's got easements too. It's in the county, it's not in the city.
So it wouldn't violate?
It's just
wouldn't
inside the
violate-
orange.
Whose water would it be connecting to?
It'd have to connect to the city. Do you want to go ahead?
Oh, okay.
Athens City has such confidence in you men. They have already set the meter, one of the meters this morning.
Great.
They have assured us there will be no problem in setting the second. And in the other question we have, since we're now ready to start digging the trench, can you just sort of clarify with us about the right-of-way, rules of
That-
how we can,
Commissioner Hill,
ensure we stay-
Mark can
we
address
have
that.
it, we already have that drawn up, and you can get with us after the meeting.
All right,
We'll sign and be ready to go.
thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Amy Gold.
Amy?
Yes, I just wanted to clarify.
So we had to put you on TV so we could save his posterity, and Adam can write everything you say down.
Right, all right.
And you've got a
I-
check against it, yeah.
I just want to assure you that, yes, the City of Athens stands ready to provide water once the right-of-way is granted from the county. So that's our holdup. We have, of course, like you said, Ms.
How far down the water line are you gonna have to run?
A little less than 2,000 feet.
Why don't y'all just run a water line down there to them?
There's an aid to construction cost, and of course, that is business between Athens Water and Ms. Kyle. But she has that sorted out, and we stand ready to assist her as needed
Okay, doke.
per our rules and regulations. So,
Okay, doke.
thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Amy. There's no more public comment. Kelly, we'll go to the courthouse update. Ed Robert, back from Disney, the cruise. Kids enjoy it? I bet.
All right, good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
Robert and I were kind of walking the job site this morning, kind of looking around to see where we're at, our status, that kind of thing. To start off, I'll start off with the site work. We have not really performed very much site work in the last month or so. We've got all the utilities underground. All we lack mainly is just the landscaping and getting the yard back into the condition it was before we started. That'll probably happen in the next month or so. Not a real hurry on that right now, but we have started putting up the new fence around the mechanical yard. They should finish that up today. That will prevent a lot of the unsightly units and mechanical equipment that are inside that yard from being visible like it was before. And we still have to leave perforated panels there to allow airflow, but we're trying to hide those units as much as possible now. The architectural part of the project is progressing pretty rapidly right now. We are painting walls. We've got most of the trim up. We're still got a lot of work to do on the first floor, but second and third floor have come together pretty well. We're at the finishing stages on both of those floors, getting ready for some major cleanup in the next couple of weeks, that kind of thing. Got anything to say, Robert, about the finishes?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that, when Kelly and I walked the site this morning, starting on the third floor, that is really the most finished, where we have the majority of the existing trim installed and in place. And on the second floor, we have the remainder of the existing trim, in place. And so we're working on those two floors, as well as painting, that trim to match the colors that we've looked at. We're looking at a slightly lighter color than the brown that's in there now, and we're working with the judges on that.
We have, as far as our fire protection goes, all of the main piping is in place. The sprinkler heads have been installed to the ceiling grid on both the second and third floors. The dry system in the attic is connected and working.
What about our electrician?
Electrician, I got one extra electrician last week. We are guaranteed to have several more at the end of this week and next week to start putting lights in the ceiling grid.
That's the only thing, because I don't want to get to the end, we're already in pews set and everything, and we're still waiting on electricians setting lights. And
Yeah,
I understand, I appreciate the position the gentleman's in, because I've been in that position before. But we can't, this thing has went on and on and on and on, and every time we turn around, we find something wrong. Now, come back and find out the darn steps is, that's, it ain't nothing to do with y'all, I understand, but it just keeps
Yeah. I
coming
understand.
on, and we're ready to get through with that dadgum courthouse. I mean, it's, and I know I'm just venting, I guess, but it's just the gift that keeps giving. And I don't know what we do at this point, because we inherited it, but just to finish it, so. But get on our electrician, and I'm sympathetic to his plight. I've been in that position before, take a big job, and then something else come along, you not have enough manpower. But it's not fair for us, people of Limestone County, to bear the brunt of that.
I agree.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Kelly, they're hanging cans, light cans.
They will be bringing the cans to the job site this week. We are hanging lights and stairwells right now until they get here. But he did send one other guy to start the lighting, and it will start with the cans.
And those are incandescent.
Yes.
Got a finish date on the roof?
The shingles are 99% complete. Our TPO gutter system is completed. We're having an issue with the gutters that run off of the porch roofs that tie into the existing storm roof drains. We were required to put new sleeves into those roof drains, and we can't get to them to do it. just because of where they're located in the actual brick wall. We either have to tear out some brick to get to that to make a new connection there, or we've got to call into the engineer to try to allow us to cut that cast iron out and actually replace it with PVC, and that way we can make the connections without doing any more demolition to the brick.
Thank
Any other questions?
No, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Kay, could you call roll, please?
Commissioner Hill,
Here.
Commissioner Turner,
Here.
Commissioner Black,
Here.
Commissioner Harrison.
Here.
Mr. Black, you lead us to a pledge?
I will. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. First item is, I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes from May 2nd and May 11th, 2016. Do I hear such motion?
So move.
A motion by Mr. Hill. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Black. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Black,
Aye.
Turner,
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Our next item, I'll ask for a motion to approve claims in the amount of $1,200,326.55 as presented to the commission. Do I hear such motion?
I'll make the motion.
Have a motion by Mr. Black. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Have a second by Mr. Harrison. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Our next item on the resolutions orders, I'll ask for a motion to pass a resolution to adopt the 2015 Limestone County Hazard Mitigation Plan update. FEMA has approved the plan pending adoption by the identified entities in the plan. Do I hear such motion?
Make a motion to approve.
I have a motion by Mr. Harrison. Do I hear a second?
Second.
A second by Mr. Black. Any discussion? There's no discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Commissioner Black,
Aye.
Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Our next item, I'll ask for a motion to approve authorizing resolution and governmental lease purchase agreement to purchase one new case tractor along with one new Land Pride 56 Series offset rotary cutter and obtain financing from Hancock Bank in the amount of $72,048.74 at an interest rate of 1.81% for 5 annual payments for District 3. Do I hear such a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Black. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Hill. Any discussion?
This is a great deal that I didn't even have to go out looking for. This is the governmental lease agreement that we have. Fantastic deal. As far as the budget goes, I think this year I budgeted that I would be leasing a tractor for $22,000. After we break it down with 1.81% at 5 annual payments, I think I'll save about $8,000 on the budget. So that's and it's a really good tractor. And it's local. We get to get it from a local company.
And you'll own the tractor.
I'll own the tractor.
If there's no more discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black,
Aye.
Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Turner,
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Pardon me. I'll now ask for a motion to suspend the rules of order in order to approve the following A-Trip project. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules?
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Turner. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Harrison. Any discussion? There's no discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Turner,
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison,
Aye.
Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Black,
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next, I'll ask for a motion to approve the A-Trip project agreement for bridge replacement, covered and approaches on Lucas Ferry Road over Mud Creek in the total of $509,872.93. Do I hear such motion?
I'll make the motion.
A motion by Mr. Black. Do I hear a second?
Second.
A second by Mr. Turner. Any discussion?
This is a project that was done before I was elected. It's been a long time coming, I think, and it's a very bad area right there where Lucas Ferry and Huntsville Browns Ferry cross. Very flood prone, a lot of homes down through there that get flooded. This right here is going to alleviate that problem, we hope, and and be a much safer replacement.
Thank you, sir. If there's no more discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black,
Aye.
Commissioner Turner,
Aye.
Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Motion carries unanimously. Our next item are the contracts, agreements, and grants. I'll ask for a motion to accept a grant from the Alabama Department of Economic and Community Affairs Law Enforcement and Traffic Safety Division for automatic vehicle locating system and body cameras in the amount of $5,307. There will be no match from the county. Do I hear a motion to accept such grant?
So move.
I have a motion by Mr. Hill. Do I hear a second?
Second.
A second by Mr. Black. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Black,
Aye.
Commissioner Turner,
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Motion carries unanimously. Our next item, I'll ask for a motion to accept the grant 15-DJ-LC-020 from the Alabama Department of Economic and Community Affairs, Law Enforcement, and Traffic Safety Division for automatic vehicle locating system and body cameras in the amount of $4,695 with no match from the county. Do I hear such motion to accept this grant?
I'll make the motion.
A motion by Mr. Black. Do I hear a second?
Second.
A second by Mr. Harrison. Any discussion?
Sonia told us at the work session that this is money left over from grants from 2014, 2015, and it's money that's just out there, and we applied for it, and it'll go to the sheriff's department. Is that right, son?
Great job, Sonia.
Good job.
Sonia does a fantastic job. It's our grant writer. Thank you. There's no more discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black,
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison,
Aye.
Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. There are no budget revisions to come before the commission, no emergency purchases, no board appointments, no bids to be awarded. Under personnel action, I'll ask for a motion to approve family medical leave for Vicki Marbury beginning May 3rd, 2016 until June 20th, 2016. Do I hear such motion?
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Turner. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Hill. Any discussion? There's no discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Turner,
Aye.
Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Black,
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Our next item, y'all have the list before you and it's available to the public if you need it. I'll ask for a motion to grant the merit increases as presented to the Limestone County Commission. Do I hear such motion?
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Turner. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Hill. Any discussion? There's no discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Turner,
Aye.
Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Black,
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Engineers report, Mr. Moss.
Sir, Mr. Chairman, all we have for you this morning, we're gonna, had a request to take a look at Elk River Mills Road from Highway 99 to Baker Hill Road in District 4, and to look at perhaps adjusting the speed limit, and we would like to get your permission to do so.
Good to me.
To adjust the speed limit, excuse me, we have looked at it.
Okay. I assumed you had. I have full confidence and faith in you, Mr. Moss, and our whole engineering department. Do I have a motion to change the speed limit to 50 mile per hour on Elk River Mills from Highway 99 to Baker Road in District 4 as submitted?
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Harrison. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Black. Any discussion? There's no discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Another business. One, I'll ask for a motion to approve the following change order for bid number 2581, data infrastructure and audio system and wiring for the courthouse in the amount of $8,113. I'm gonna assume this is the, building system technologies to add AVI, HDI, MI receivers and transmitters in courtrooms 105, 205, 8 coax drops, and 6-strand fiber run to the district attorney's office. Do I hear a motion to approve such change order?
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion, Mr. Turner. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Hill. Any discussion? There's no discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Turner,
Aye.
Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Black,
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion Motion carries unanimous. And next item, approve appropriation request from the Spirit of Athens for the Grease Festival in the amount of $2,500. Do I hear a motion to approve such request? The request received no motion, so we'll move on to the next item on the agenda. Next item, approve the following change orders for Phase 3 of the courthouse renovation project in the amount of $44,320. And y'all have the list before you, and I know Kelly went over this, I've seen at
He
the
went
work
over it in
session
the work session.
extensively. Did I hear a motion to approve such change orders as presented to the commission?
Make a motion to approve.
Have a motion by Mr. Harrison. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Turner. Any discussion? There's no discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Harrison,
Aye.
Commissioner Turner,
Aye.
Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next item, schedule public hearing. This is a CDBG application, provide funding for the development of water system improvements on New Cut Road near Oakland community.
Make a motion to, oh, okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing today?
Good morning.
Good.
My name is Lucas Blankenship. I'm the Director of Economic Development and Community Planning with the Top of Alabama Regional Council of Governments located in Huntsville. We work for the 46 municipalities and 5 county commissions within Limestone, Madison, Jackson, DeKalb, and Marshall counties. Recently, I was contacted by Chairman Yarborough and the Limestone County Commission to look at a potential CDBG application to install a new 12-inch water line between the intersection of Blackburn and New Cut Road, running west to the intersection of approximately New Cut Road and Parker Road, if I read this correctly. We have developed a preliminary cost estimate. You gentlemen have the maps and also a copy of the preliminary budget in hand right here. Should anyone with the public like a copy of the map or budget, I've got copies right here at the front seat, like one. Part of the requirements for application for community development block grant funding through the Alabama Department of Economic and Community Affairs requires us to provide a public hearing for the public to learn a little bit about the project, also acquire a little public comment, should there be any, and then kind of give the guidelines of the CDBG program and also the potential schedule for the project should it come to fruition. So with that stated, if you guys would just bear with me for a few moments. Okay. Since 1982, the Alabama Department of Economic and Community Affairs has administered the state's Community Development Block Grant Program with funding provided by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. The program is available to all non-entitlement communities that meet the applicable threshold requirements. ADECA has awarded more than $1 billion in CDBG funding since 1978 and approximately 4,000 projects there. All projects must meet one of the national objectives of the program. Projects must benefit 51% low to moderate income people, aid in the prevention of the clearance of slum and blight, or meet an urgent need per HUD regulations. For more information on the CDBG applications, funding, or requirements, please visit the HUD website, which you guys have a copy of that information here as well. An overview of the 2016 CDBG program consists of this. There are 4 types of program funds. One is the competitive fund, one is the community enhancement fund, one is a regional planning fund, and also an economic development fund. From this point, I'll go a little bit more in depth about each. In regard to the competitive fund, ADECA annually awards CDBG money for large cities, small cities, and counties. Applicants are scored based on several competitive factors, including community need, cost efficiency, appropriateness, and impact. Application deadlines are announced during the annual workshop. That took place approximately 2 weeks ago, give or take, roughly. Applications are going to be due July 1st of this year at 12 noon at ADECA in Montgomery. Grant ceilings for the small city and county funds are $350,000 for this cycle. The large city fund has a ceiling of $450,000 for this cycle. Typical activities include water and sewer extensions and rehabilitation, housing rehabilitation, neighborhood and downtown revitalization type projects, and street and drainage improvements. The second fund consists of the Community Enhancement Fund. This is eligible to all communities through ADECA. Typical activities include fire protection, senior citizen centers, community centers, boys and girls clubs, and the development of recreational facilities. Municipalities and counties have a grant ceiling in this fund of $250,000 per year. The planning fund is available for all counties and municipalities. Typical activities include comprehensive plans for such elements of comprehensive plans, downtown revitalization plans, and regional strategies such as economic development strategies and such as that. The grant ceiling for this pot is $50,000 per application. The final group consists of the Economic Development Fund. The ED Infrastructure Fund is available to all eligible communities for projects supporting the creation or retention of jobs. Applicants for ED assistance should have a commitment from businesses to create or retain 15 or more jobs. The business should fall within the SIC codes 20 to 39 or provide a significant economic benefit to the community. Projects must not include intrastate relocation. Also, the program is available on a continuous funding cycle. The ED fund, you can come in at any point during the year, multiple applications. The community enhancement, planning, and competitive funds are a one-time per year application cycle. Typically, you can get up to $200,000, but should it be a very significant industry, that can be waived by a DECA. Typical activities include water, sewer, road improvements, rail spurs, docks, etc. So should you have any further information that you would like, you can contact me at my office. I can provide a business card, or you can talk to the director of the CDBG program at ADECA by the telephone number of 334-242-0492. His name is Al Jones. Does anyone have any questions or comments in regard to this new project?
Just to give a little background, y'all know, Steve, Commissioner Turner and I are on the Targog Board of Directors, and Dale Schaefer he's kind of semi-retired, basically stepped back, and Lucas was promoted to this position. As y'all can tell, he's pretty much a go-getter. And Lucas come and met with me, and he said, hey, here's an opportunity to get some of these grants. And I said, well, what is the best opportunity to get? And he said, well, something for a water line, upgrade a water line is the best chance we got. Now, Ms. Kyle, this is a situation where even though you live in the county, you live in the city of Athens district, so the water authority couldn't do anything, and since it's a county deal, we couldn't do anything in your situation there. But I contacted Byron Cook, Alton F. Cope, the water authority, and sat down with Lucas, and the water authority identified this area because it had to meet certain economic, variables and stuff, and so the commission itself didn't pick it. This was identified by the water authority as a place that met all the criteria. The grant, which is it's 80-20.
It's 80-20.
Yeah, 20 will be provided by the Limestone County Water Authority in the event that it's granted. So there's no cost to the commission, but by doing it through the commission, it enhanced their chances of them getting it. So that's basically just trying to work together to. And I wish if you hadn't been inside the orange boundary, but if you hadn't been inside the orange boundary, you wouldn't have been here today. You'd have had water. So that's all.
Thank you, Lucas.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity
Thanks.
to work with you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And Lucas, this is replacing a 3-inch line, right?
That's my understanding. Old line that's out there will go to a 12-inch. That should improve flow and also possibly lower the ISO rating in the area.
Yeah, it will.
It'll help the insurance
Right.
tremendously for the people out there. Their homeowners, it probably a 30-35% reduction.
There'll be a hydrant every 1,000 feet, I think.
No, it's gonna be,
It says 1,000. That's
Is it
what
1,000?
That's what it says. Seems hydrant will be placed every 1,000 feet.
they'll probably put it closer. Generally, they put them about 400 feet. So,
Should my agency be of any assistance at any time, you guys feel free to call me, okay?
thank you.
Thank you.
I would imagine they'll put them every 400 feet.
400 feet.
Yeah, maybe close to 300. I know in subdivisions they're 200, but, the density, but. Okay, thank you. At this time, report of the officers, Commissioner Hill.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve letting the Kyles and the Duggars run their water line on Duggar Road at their expense. And we have a contract about how it's to be put in, and we'll meet with them after this meeting.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second for approval to install private water lines on Douglas Road. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Motion carries unanimously. Anything else? Commissioner Turner?
Just to update, we're out resurfacing the cuts in Newby Road where we replaced the pipe under the road this morning. The contractors will be beginning to make preparations on the East Limestone Road resurfacing project. Most of the preparation will be trying to get their signage in the correct locations and the utilities located so they can put signs up. And that work should start immediately after school's out. I would say within 3 or 4 days of school being out, they'll be out there working. And I'm also going to ask for permission to do a little paving of Bluebird Lane, which is 0.19 of a mile, and Boo Seal Lane, which is 0.16 of a mile. As I stated in the work session, we chip sealed those two little sections last year to make preparations for plant mixing them this year. So I make a motion that we resurface these two roads.
I have a motion by Mr. Turner that we resurface Bluebird Lane and Boo Seal Lane. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Hill. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Anything else?
Just a side note, this will be with our forces doing the work. Our guys will be doing the resurfacing. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Black?
What day you gonna do that?
They're on Newby today. They're moving their equipment to Bluebird as soon as they finish Newby. Hopefully going to try to do Bluebird tomorrow. And they may accidentally be able to get Boo Seal. Neither one of them is going to take over an hour, hour and a half. They're so short. So
Okay.
that'll be up with Terry Bob. You have to talk.
That'll work. That's what I just need that.
Good thing you didn't try a filibuster or something to
I
stop
know
it.
it. Pow! It shot out, wasn't it? All right, completing city acres today in the city of Madison. We're having to cut concrete on 2 different areas down through there. Slow job because it's all handheld machinery we're cutting it with, and we're having to cut a retaining wall too. So, thanks to the guys for doing it because they're going to be really worn out at the end of the day. Hope Springer Road, we hope to be putting a hot patch over that. Now that I know they're going to be out, I hope we can use the services this week. Be a very small strip. And then Fielding Road, saw Miller & Miller down there this morning at about 7 o'clock. They should be just about ready to pull out. I think the grass has started growing on the sides, and I think that's kind of what we were waiting on. So, thanks.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Harrison?
We're putting down block material on Guy Miller Lane this week and some other roads on the edges of the roads, filling the potholes on the edges, and eagerly awaiting our new distributor truck. Supposed to be here, first of next week? Yeah, I think so. And also, since the no spray signs didn't fly, I'm working on a low-cost solution to have a moving map display on our spray trucks. Did some work over the weekend. I think I've got a system that will work with it if the driver can utilize it. So I'll be working with engineering to put that together. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all for coming. Miss Kyle, I'm sorry that you've had to go through all, and I'm glad we could have done this. If we could have done anything more for you, we would have. At least hopefully this will get it taken care of for you and you'll go. Everybody have a great week. With that, we'll recess to 10 a.m. on Wednesday, June 1st, 2016 at the Washington Street Courthouse Annex at 310 West